So we live together.
Yep.
We watch football together.
Yep.
We talk about football together.
Yep.
Why don't we just start a podcast?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Eye Test. It's myself, DS, and my guy, Culture Cams. Match day 2 of the Premier League just finished yesterday. Liverpool beating Newcastle. But there's been a lot of talking points, I think, throughout the week. Now, we don't want to make this a typical roundup because, first of all, we're both on podcasts that do that kind of stuff, and I just think there's a lot of content like that. But I thought it'd be interesting if we look at a few of the weekend games and touch on some talking points that maybe didn't get as much spotlight, but still have a real impact on the game and on the teams going forward this season. Before I get started, Cam, welcome.
What's
Yeah,
good,
welcome
man?
to
Hey,
our
look, bro, we both got light blue on, mate.
There you go.
We didn't
Coordinated,
plan
man.
this, mate. We didn't
Coordinated,
plan
bro.
this,
You
honestly.
told me last night.
Nah,
Put that one shirt on.
didn't plan this one. But how are you, man? I'm all good, though. I'm all good.
I'm good, bro. I'm
Yeah.
good. Yeah. No, I'm good in some regards. There's one thing in my life that's really annoying me.
Let's not talk about it.
We
man.
will talk about it. That's the part of the job.
Right.
But before we get into that team, let's go into the game that just finished last night, Liverpool versus Newcastle. Now, one of the craziest games I've seen in a minute. In my opinion, that had the making of a Premier League classic from minute one with the narrative, how the game went down, the last-minute winner by a 16-year-old who is ridiculous, by the way, Rio, man. What a player. But I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I think this is 3 games now I watched Liverpool. Crystal Palace in the Community Shield. I watched them briefly against Bournemouth. I didn't catch the whole game. I had another obligation. And then obviously yesterday against Newcastle. And all 3 games, I've come away thinking, okay, they obviously still have insane talent, maybe even the most top-end talent in the league with Salah, with Van Dijk. The way Ekitike is playing right now, 3 goals in 3. They are still contenders and maybe even still the favorites. But there's still something for me that's missing with this side right now. And I think it was Klopp who said, like, the Premier League doesn't really get started until the transfer window ends, and it's like match day 3, the first international break ends, and then the season kind of gets started, right? Yeah. But I think you can still take things away from teams without making too many overarching statements, right? Oversweeping statements. The balance with Liverpool right now is off, bro. It's off. And I think it's normal because Klopp brought in a lot of different moving parts. But at the moment, I think he's kind of struggling to balance it all out. Yesterday, he played Szoboszlai at right back, and I continue saying it. I think Szoboszlai is so important for them, but in midfield. And he did a decent job at right back, but they miss so much of his industry in the middle when he doesn't play. I think at the moment, Kerkez, bro, they bought him. And what do you think of when you think of Kerkez? Last season, what was it about him?
You know what? I thought of his crosses.
You thought of his
Thought he's got
crosses,
a
and you
good
also thought of the way
cross.
he bombs up and down the wing, right?
Good cross on him.
Yeah, aggressive, direct. Bro, this year he's playing like inverted almost. Like Liverpool build up in a 3. He's playing as a left center back in the build up. He's making like inverted runs for Gakpo to hold the width. I'm like, that's not what I know Kerkez for. Now let's see how it kind of all shapes up. It's a long season, right? But I think the thing I got away from yesterday, and this honestly works for both sides, this Isak saga needs to come to an end soon. Because yes, Newcastle need to resolve it, and I think that's what we've been focusing on a lot, right? They need to either keep Isak and hold firm, or they have to sell him and get a replacement. But I think even for Liverpool now, bro, they need to come to a conclusion here. Because if Liverpool don't sign Isak, I'm starting to question, is the side that they've assembled, is it strong and coherent enough to win the league if they don't do anything else? And the thing is, they've left it so late now that if they don't get Isak, if Newcastle decide tomorrow, that's it. I don't know, like they're gonna kind of be scrambling to build a team that would be able to win the league without Isak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I got a question for you then.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if they sign Isak, does that tip the scale for you still?
Yeah,
but those same issues remain.
Yeah.
And now them issues, it's just, I don't know, let's move Gakpo and put Ekitike there.
Yeah.
And now it's Isak up top. Does that say to you, okay, cool, with that they're going to win the league? Or do you think now that you're seeing some fundamental issues, do you think, oh, hold on, actually, even with Isak, it's not as clear cut?
First of all, I think the fundamental issues.
Because with me saying Isak, we thought,
yeah.
Done.
No, okay. First of all, the fundamental issues I'm talking about, and I'm not picking on Liverpool here. I think even Liverpool fans are looking at it and say, okay, we've needed 2 late winners now to get 3 points. Community Shield, the minute we took off Ekitike, it kind of fell apart. But I think it's a long enough season. I trust Slot to find solutions. I think it will eventually kind of get like papered over. I think Isak is so dominant and such like an imposing piece that you add to your team that yes, it would paper over a lot of cracks. Because I look at yesterday's game, and another one I want to talk about, like, they didn't play a great game. Against 10 men, they were largely penned in at times. But they have Van Dijk, who just dominates his box, and then Salah, who honestly had a quiet game, but again, picks his moments so well. So when you have those players, we've seen with Liverpool, even the year before that when they didn't win the league, but they were winning games through almost individual brilliance from the best players in the world. And when you have that many, they will get you over the line more often than not. So I think you add Isak to this team. I would still say, yeah, they'd probably be my bet to win the league. But I think if they don't,
But
and
on paper,
they-
you know, on paper right now, you look at a team and what you're watching as well. You're so, for example, you're seeing some issues systematically,
Yeah.
right? You're seeing these issues. You're questioning why Kirkus is playing inside, so Gakpo can hold wing, width, all this type of stuff. Ekitike has 3 goals in 3 games,
Yeah,
all from central positions.
yeah.
Very good finishes.
Bro, he's a quality player, man.
He's doing his job.
Yeah.
In all aspects,
Yeah.
link up and goal scoring. Does that upset the situation? This is what Jamie Carragher was talking about a little bit, and Liverpool fans were saying, flipping out, is he trying to push a campaign for us not to get top players or something? But I understand what he's saying. You've got someone that's come in, he's firing. Can this just now all of a sudden go from a player that's bubbling to superstardom who can, all right, let's have it right. Isak is a top player, but I mean, he's not R9. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's not act like his levels are unattainable.
Yeah.
So you got a player that's Isak, Ekitike, that could get to an Isak level by the end of the season if he continues.
Yeah. But then you also
And then you
have-
bring
but
in
then-
Isak.
But then
How does
Isak
that-
is at that level. So for me, if you can get Isak, you get it, and then you worry about what it looks like after. I think that's the rule. Like I would look at it like that.
You think
right?
so?
I think when those players are attainable, and I say attainable, I mean he's barely attainable, but if you can get him through the door, buy him, figure it out later. But I also think, and I would love to hear Liverpool fans' thoughts on this. What would make Liverpool a better team? Adding Isak or adding Gehi, a backup left winger, and a center forward of less quality than Isak? Because I do agree they need depth in attack, but signing those 3 players instead. Does that make Liverpool a stronger side than if you just add Isak?
I think a lot of fans, like, you know, we joke around, oh, greedy, but I genuinely think a lot of fans are sitting there, like Liverpool fans, thinking like, we know Isak is like, it's like an opportunity that we have to
it's an
take
opportunity for
at
sure.
this point. We
For
just
sure.
have to take it. So, but if it talks about, I'm not saying logically it don't make sense, but I do think a lot of them are just thinking to themselves like, because he wants it, because of the drama,
Yeah, get it
we
done.
have to do it
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
We can't
And
walk
also,
away
you're so
from
far,
it.
bro. You're too far in now, bro.
That's what I mean. You're too far in, yeah. But in terms of like what it means for the whole squad, listen, as I said, Isak's a great striker, but when he's not a generational striker, that, oh my God, like it's a once in a lifetime player. So for me, it would make sense if they like kind of like filled out their squad. However, because you look at the depth, Rio is a fantastic talent, but he's 16 years old. Same thing with Max Dowman. Like they're great players, but they're young,
You can't
very
really
young.
rely on that
You-
for all
yeah,
season.
you can't
It's
say
unfair
they're
on them to say. Yeah,
exactly. But you look at their bench yesterday. That was a weak bench. Do you know what I mean? That was a very weak bench. And did they have injuries? Anyone injured? Is anyone missing?
Frimpong is injured at the
Frimpong,
moment.
okay.
Yeah. And Connor Bradley was coming back with us.
But that's not even. I'm talking about really midfield and attack. You know what I mean? So nobody.
Yeah, Gravenberch came back.
McAllister was
McAllister
had a
sure,
baby
sure,
or something,
sure.
something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But the actual bench, when you look at the names on it, I was like, ooh, looks a bit. You know what I mean? So filling out their squad maybe is something that I would say they need, but they might just be going for it and being like how you said, our top end quality will get us through. Yeah. But with that but when you look at like now it's a completely different competition, but Champions League, I don't know if that will be suffice. Just
Really?
I don't know.
I think it might be the opposite.
I don't know.
I think in the Champions League they'll be a bigger threat. Look, okay, no. Again, let me not make these sweeping statements. I think they're going to be a big threat in both of them.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, do you know what? My worry isn't like if they get Isak again. I think it's different. But I just fear with a week left in the window, if for whatever reason this doesn't happen, I think Liverpool have left themselves with a lot to do to kind of make up for it in a short amount of time.
I think
which is why for me
I think they're confident. I think they think it's going to happen.
I think as well.
They wouldn't stay in this for this
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
Like the fact that they haven't gone for anyone else, that's very
But you know what it is?
unless they do like how we chased De Jong or someone and then the panic by Casemiro. Unless in this week they just panic buy
But
somebody.
say
I don't
Newcastle
see
just
Liverpool
decide
do that.
Tomorrow it's like, look, we tried for every striker under the sun.
Yeah.
It just
Good
didn't
point.
work out.
That's a good point. They haven't
Bro,
got their
we can't do it, guys. I'm sorry. We would love to. We can't do it. We can't do it. That's a disaster for It's not great for Newcastle either, because I'm looking at their side of things. They need this to get over the line as well too now,
Yeah.
bro. That's 2 games where if Isaac plays or center forward plays, they probably win both those games, bro. Gordon and Elanga missing chances. But yeah, for Liverpool, I just think this week, get it done. But the other thing I want to touch on for Liverpool, amongst all the chaos, this brother Van Dijk, man. Oh my goodness. That's one of those performances yesterday where I look at him and it's weird in a game where you concede 2 goals up 11v10 and you're looking at the center back and praising him. But I think that just kind of shows you how dominant this guy is, even when everything around him is kind of falling apart. Bro, the amount of crosses and set pieces Newcastle played into Liverpool's box yesterday, aiming at Burns' head in particular, and anything in like a 10-yard radius of him, it's no problem.
Konate hasn't started the season
He
well
hasn't
either.
started the season well whatsoever, but it doesn't seem to matter. It doesn't matter who's next to him. It doesn't matter who's at fullback. This guy just gets it done, and that's why I continue to always say, right? I will never question any ex-defender. Like when Rio always talks about like the quality of center forwards out there, and Terry says, I don't really disagree with them. I don't think the center forward position is as strong as it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But I have zero doubt in my mind that Van Dijk couldn't handle. Like he could handle those guys.
Yeah,
Bro. He has
top
everything.
players, if you're a top player, you're more time. If you're a top player to that level,
Yeah.
you can play
But
in
I
any
think to that
era,
level is
innit?
the big word here, bro.
Yeah.
Like there's great center backs out there.
Yeah.
But the thing we forgot as well too, he's 34. I know he doesn't
Yeah.
look 34, but he looks like he could play another 5 years. And I know with these guys, it could just be 1 year and it all falls apart. But at the moment, bro, the way he's still playing the game, the way he feels so comfortable reading it, holding off, still winning his duels in the air, untouchable. I look at him and I'm like, I don't really see this guy slowing down. Like it would shock me if tomorrow he just falls apart. It's unreal what we're seeing from Van Dijk, man. And now the thing with him as well too, we're hitting how many years now that he's been at Liverpool? What, 17, 18?
7?
Well, half of 17, 18, 18,
6,
19,
7?
19, 20, 20, 21, 21, 22,
Yeah.
22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26, bro.
8 seasons.
This is like his 9th season, bro.
Yeah, long time, bro.
We don't. It's not even like the longevity thing can
Yeah,
even be used
yeah.
at him anymore, bro. This
Yeah,
guy
of
is just
course.
an all-timer in this league and one of the best I've seen, bro, for sure. But yeah, Liverpool. Let's see how it kind of goes. Over to Arsenal, because we're gonna talk about Van Dijk. Let's talk about 2 other center backs.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about Arsenal, man.
Listen, Arsenal. I mean, good win against Leeds. Great. Well, Leeds are poor in it. They were like people saying they were staying in the game, but Leeds had nothing going forward. Do you know what I mean? They had nothing going forward. So for me, you can praise staying in the game, but you got to have something going forward, like how Wolves did against Man City in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like how Bournemouth did against Liverpool. Leeds didn't really have anything going on, but so you saw the dominance of Arsenal eventually grow through the game. And you know what I was saying? I was saying Declan Rice's set piece is absolutely, bro, honestly, they're some of the best I've ever seen in terms of corner taking, in terms of the consistency. But I know it's not really a game where they were challenged much, as I'm saying. But I look at Gabriel, I look at Saliba, Timber also, by the way, like defensively
So good.
amazing. But I look at Gabriel, I look at Saliba, and genuinely, like, I say it, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If any 2 players deserve a Premier League, it's those 2 for me. I think, yes, some people are going to say, oh, but Saka's our best player, Declan Rice has done this. I think that Declan Rice has come in, you know, in the last 2 seasons, and he's been good as well. Of course, Saka's had some question marks in the title run-ins and stuff like that, or whatever. But I just think Gabriel and Saliba, from a consistency point of view, as a duo, they are some of the best I've seen in the Premier League. And you look at Carvalho and Terry, you look at Rio and Vidic, and the great ones, they obviously won a lot, so they're going to be well up there. But for these guys to try and get in that conversation, they need to win. But when I look at them and I just take away trophies, I take away all that, I'm like, on a consistency basis, these 2, bro, they're so hard to beat. And they're the reason why I'm like, I never have Arsenal too low in the title rate, in the title races.
Their floor is so
Their
high.
floor is so high because of them too. And you look at Gabriel, I think you can argue that he is probably one of the best in the world right now.
Yeah.
Like you were just singing the praise of Van Dijk, and maybe that was a virtuoso performance that reminds you of who Van Dijk is. But consistency wise, bro, Gabriel has probably been the best centre half in the league for 3 years. If you're talking about from start to finish, 22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25, and I think he'll have it again. That's 3 team of the year campaigns. He didn't get it in 22, 23. They gave it to Saliba, which I think Saliba went down with injury. Holding came in, it all started collapsing a little bit, so I think it boosted it. But I'm thinking, you're looking at a guy that can potentially 4 years in a row be 1 or 2 best centre-back in the Premier League. This guy's reaching a high level, and I think he gets hit with he came into the league, had the bozo
But I
gene
think
or
he's
whatever.
done a really good job, which is very
He's
difficult
brushed
to do.
that off.
I was gonna say it's very difficult. I feel in football to when you have when you build a reputation amongst fans,
Yeah.
to shake that off.
Shake it off, yeah.
Because I think fans, the minute you make a mistake, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
there it is again.
Yeah.
But I think he's done a really good job now. Like you said, for 3 years, I can name Gabriel's mistakes on one hand, maybe. Like
That's what I'm saying.
and that's a testament to him, because I think once football fans have an opinion of you, it's very difficult to shake that off.
In everything that we talk about in I'm not saying he's peak Van Dijk or anything like that. Van Dijk will still be seen as the best centre back, right? But what I'm saying is everything that you thought you saw in Van Dijk in terms of a checklist, in terms of, do you win your duels? Yes. Are you aerially dominant? Yes. Are you a goal scorer in important moments?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you dominate the best strikers in the league? Yes. He eats up Haaland, Gabriel, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all them check marks, can you pass? Gabriel can pass. Now, is he, I wouldn't call him a ball playing centre half, but he can pass the ball. He can pass between the lines. Can you sweep? Yes. The other day when Mbumu was running through and he just gave him the
ate
arm,
that ground
boom,
up, yeah.
ate the ground up. Have you got speed? Can you? The guy's a complete centre half at the
aggressive
moment.
too, man.
Can you play in a low block? Yes. Can you play in a mid block? Yes. Can you play in a high line? Yes. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, bro, there's not much that this guy can't do at the moment. And then you've got Saliba next to him. And I actually think, if you're talking about comparisons to defenders and stuff, it's very much, again, you want, know how back in the day it was that big man, little man for strikes and stuff. What they have is very, very similar to what Terry and Carvalho had, to what Rio and Vidic had. Gabriel is the Terry and Vidic. Saliba is the Rio and Carvalho. The one that's more calm on the ball, a bit more silky, don't get as dirty, but, you know, the ceiling is higher probably. But then, maybe not so much with John Terry and Carvalho. But then you got the Vidic and the Rio, exactly the same thing. Rio doesn't get dirty, he's calm. Same thing like Saliba. But then you got the Vidic's. Put the head on it. That's Gabriel. He's the leader of that. You know what I mean? So whether you think Saliba is better than Gabriel, you could think that. That is a perfectly fine opinion. But there is only one leader out there, and it's Gabriel. And it's the same thing with John Terry. And trust me, when Carvalho came in and John Terry was playing alongside him, it wasn't unanimously clear that John Terry was seen as the best. Same thing with Rio and Vidic. As much as we pass time now, Rio's career is better and Rio's the more ball player.
Yeah, I remember when
but there was a time, the 3-4 year period,
where I thought Vidic.
It's like, who's better?
For sure.
And that's the case with these two. They are the perfect prototype for a centre-back partnership, honestly. Like, when I look at, I think they're the best duo partnership in the Premier League at the moment. People talk about Konate, Van Dijk. I don't think so.
In the world as a partnership, I still think Van Dijk personally is the best.
I can hear that.
But I think as a partnership, they're the best in the world. Bro.
Yeah.
I don't see what they lack. I think they suit each other so well.
Yeah.
The clean sheet. All they're missing really is silverware. And this is why I agree with you, right? Because you can look across the last few years, guys have missed time, guys have maybe fell off in form a little bit. But these two, Arsenal's identity is built off their defense. It's built off how hard they are to beat. And that identity is set by them, bro. They set the tone for that identity.
It's like saying, and it's the thing about like trophy culture, which, listen, I'm not disregarding trophies, win trophies, of course, right? But saying them two ain't an elite centre-back partnership or one of the best is like saying Harry Kane wasn't a great goal scorer. Just because he didn't win trophies. Doesn't make sense. They are a great partnership. Yeah, I'm trying to say. Now, I'm not saying they are the most conducive to winning trophies of ever. No, that's a whole different discussion. You need Ronaldo in your team. You need flipping Wayne Rooney up front. You need, you know what I mean? You need Drogba and Lampard. That's what Terry and Carvalho needed. However, saying they're not great doesn't make sense. They are great. Same way Harry Kane is a great goal scorer but didn't win a Premier League. Okay. Can't tell me he's not a great goal scorer. He has 213 goals in the league. So it's like, that's just how I see them.
And it's actually funny.
Honestly.
You look at the last few seasons, right, where Arsenal have kind of, because I think 23-24, when they came second to City, it was like, wow, City were just too perfect. Remember, Arsenal went what?
16-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
But you look at the season before where they fell off in the run.
Injury
it
though,
was
isn't it?
it was Saliba. It was injury
Yes,
to Saliba.
Saliba.
But then you look at last season when they were on the
Injury to
Champions League
Gabriel.
run and injured to Gabriel, and it shows you how valuable those players
They are
bro.
they're the ones because, and again, this is no disrespect to Saka. This is no disrespect to Odegaard, or who, even though he's a public enemy number one. But this is no disrespect to them. But when I think of Arsenal, they're built off the rock. That rock. That's the thing. The identity of Arsenal, when you think of them, is the solidity. That's why Arsenal are going to be where they're going to be. And that's why Arsenal are so highly rated, because of the solidity. And that starts from them too. So that's why, for me, anyone deserves the Premier League. And they're unlucky not to.
It starts with them.
It's
yeah.
them too, bro. It's them too.
I think all of that is like I couldn't agree more. But you know, another thing I really took from that game, their depth has really been addressed this season. I think you look at last season. I know that shit scarred Arteta, seeing that many guys go down. Saka, Jesus, Havertz, Odegaard at numerous times, even Gabriel. And I think Arsenal this summer, the business that they've done, bro. There's one backup of a decent to good level at every single position, and some there's two. Goalkeeper, if I ever goes down, Kepa's coming in. I think it's a pretty good number 2 to have. I was a Premier League keeper last season.
Yeah.
Right back, you got Timber and White. Now in center back, you have so many different options. You're never really relying. You're never gonna have a Rob Holding situation, anyways. But now even Kivior is deemed not good enough. They're looking to bring in Hincapie, who can play left back and left center back. That's a guy who won the league with Leverkusen a few years ago. Who else? Mosquera, they view him as like a really good prospect in that position as well too. Left back now, you also have Hincapie. If he gets over the line, he can play there. They have Calafiori. They have Lewis Skelly, who can also play in midfield. And I think he's actually going to be starting to play a little more in midfield now. With
Timber, if you need.
Timber can play on either side as well too. In midfield, you're looking at Zubimendi, Odegaard, Eze, Declan Rice. Christian Norgard is like their 5th choice midfielder. Yeah. That was a captain of a Premier League Premier League team last season. Who else have they kind of added in those positions in terms of?
You said
Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard,
Nwaneri
Eze.
still.
Nwaneri can play in those areas.
Max, I guess. Yeah, I mean, if you want to include
I'm
him.
talking about depth that they kind of brought in,
cool.
right? I mean,
okay.
And then in attack.
Eze, you say Eze.
I said Eze, yeah.
Okay.
And in attack, you got Martinelli, Trossard, and Eze that can play off the left. And Madueke now as well, too.
Yeah.
Gyökeres, Havertz, and Jesus is actually coming back as well, too. Let's not forget about him. And on the right, Saka, Madueke, and Ethan as well, too.
Yeah.
I think now injuries happen, right? You can never predict that, even though I think you can definitely control it to an extent. And I think last season, some of Arsenal's injuries were self-sustained or self-created, in my opinion. But look, 2 injuries happen even in a 5-0 win. It was a perfect day for Arsenal. They unveil as a Gyökeres grabs his goals. Dalman makes his debut. They win 5-0. But there's still the injury aspect of Odegaard and Saka. And of course, you would rather go to Anfield with them. But who's coming in for them? Now, Eze is probably going to play in Odegaard's position. Hey, that's better than it was last season. Now, Madueke will probably start off the right. That's a lot better than what it was last season. All of a sudden now, it does feel like Arsenal are better equipped in all competitions they're going to be playing for to really contest on all fronts.
I can hear that. It's all just about, when you still watch Arsenal, it's just about, listen, it's early, of course, but it's just about sometimes they still, I don't know what it is, but you're just like, they're just a spark.
It's a grind. It's a grind to get going sometimes.
And if they can just overcome that, then the sky's the limit.
How much do you think Eze can change that?
That's the money question, isn't it? That's the one where that is the one where they're hoping is the difference maker. Do you know what I mean?
I think he very well could be.
Yeah, he could be. The thing is, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be such a different setup for Eze in terms of how he is at Palace compared to Arsenal. I think if he is playing on the left wing, let's not forget though, Arteta likes his wingers to do defensive duties, right? So he's going to have to do that. Palace, he was maybe a little bit more of a free roll-ish kind of. He didn't have to do as much as he probably will have to do at Arsenal, playing the low block. It's the same thing. Maybe not so much with Manchester United because teams don't play as much of a low block as even statistically as you would think they do, right? So my question mark was always like, Cunha's going from a team where he's in transition, it's going to be different. But that's even more so the case for Eze because Arsenal face the lowest block in the Premier League. Yeah. Or is it Man City? I can't remember. One of them two do. So you're going from transition in where he's able to carry the ball, run with it, to side to side. Now maybe pick your moment. Now you got
Arsenal are trying. Yeah, I think
Arsenal
are trying to become that kind of team. Yeah.
But Arteta will never give up control.
Of course,
he'll never give up control. And Arsenal dominate 95% of their games. So now it goes from a situation. I'm not saying Eze can't do it because I think Eze is a brilliant
Do you
player.
think
I'd
he'll
take
play
him
off
at
the
United.
left, or do you think he'll play in mid?
Well, now with Odegaard injured, I think he'll play in the 10. But I think with everyone fit, he'll play off the left. But now you've got a situation where it's like, for example, let's say Saka has the ball. Eze now has to be aware that that cross, you have to be at the back post. You know,
Yeah.
these are things that maybe he wouldn't have had to do at Palace. But listen, I think he's going to be a successful signing. Eze is a good player, and I wish him the best, man. I like everything that's, you know, that this dream has come true for him. So let's see how it goes, man. Because they're signing for me, there was this pool of players: Cunha, Mbumu, Eze, Gibbs White, maybe Morgan Rogers. You can throw in there, Kudus. You
best of
probably
the rest.
say, there we go. And I think he was João Pedro. Yeah, I mean, and he's one of them. So it's good to
They've
see.
all been swept up, bro. The Premier League saw last
Everybody.
season and said we can never let that happen again.
Honestly.
All you little mid-table clubs
Bro.
that were having at the time of your lives.
Guys had
We'll
to
poach you.
held at
We'll poach
gunpoint,
you.
bruv.
We'll poach you. We'll poach you
Literally.
right here. Shit is
Literally.
hilarious. Baleba, hey, wait.
Yeah, we're coming
It's
for you, bro.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Arsenal at the moment, they look crazy. Do you want to go to City or do you want to go to United?
We can go City. We can go City for a bit. What do you take from City? I mean, I know what I took from that game, and I just took that for me. Again, we're going into another season of Rodri or bust. You know what I mean? And Rodri has to be, for me, at his best. And I still don't think it solves all of City's issues. I really don't. And I'm not here to be a doom and gloom. I'm not here to say I told you so. Nothing can like that, because it's a long season. Anything can change. But I still look at it and I speak on it and I say, when they went in the summer, they improved themselves, I guess, in a way to go again offensively. Aït-Nouri offensively, Cherki offensively, Reinders offensively, even though now Reinders and Cherki are the two worst players to play football a week later after having a great week before. But those two and Aït-Nouri are going to make you probably a bit more fluid going forward, you would hope, right? You would hope. Obviously, Reinders has a lot of industry as well, but it still looks like Pep just wants a Rodri out there, because City, for me, defensively are still weak, transition-wise are still weak. But I now think it's gone over the point of just Rodri. But that's why when I say, did they address what they needed to address in this summer, I don't know. Because if it's still Rodri or bust, then you haven't, for me. And when I was saying it, their fans were saying, wait until Rodri is back. And I'm like, that's the point. You haven't addressed what you were lacking last season if you're still saying just wait until Rodri is back. For me, now, when I look at Pep in terms of, I don't want to say, I don't know how to articulate it. I'm trying to say, when I look at Pep, like, in terms of how City play now, I don't see much how from last season to this season he's even adapted anything. Have you seen anything? Like, do you still see, if they go play against, I feel like you can still close your eyes and imagine how they're going to play against Arsenal, how they're going to play against Liverpool.
Yeah, the style
how
is
they're
still
gonna-
similar. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think
Yeah.
like he's trying to do it in a different way. Like the way he's setting up now at the weekend, he played like four creative guys, Reinders, Cherki, Marmoush, and Bob, in front of one defensive midfielder with Haaland in front of. Like, that's different in a sense, right? They built up in a different way last year. But for the most part, yeah, the idea of how to break teams down seems pretty similar on the eye. I would agree with that.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of thinking, like, I don't know. I'm just not too convinced of City at the moment. I'm just not too convinced of them. And I know Rodri is a big player. He's a Ballon d'Or winner.
I mean, in my eyes, he's like a band-aid over an axe wound at times. But he's gonna have to do a lot.
I don't know if he's going to... What I think, right, what Man City have become, I think people are just thinking, okay, put Rodri in there, everything's going to improve. I think it's a mental thing now as well. City have lost that superior factor over everybody, bro. Teams walk into play against Man City and believe they can get something now. You never used to.
You think so?
Yes, bro. You never used to. You walk against City and it's over before you cross the line. Pep is there. You look to the left, KDB's in his prime. Haaland's in his prime. I mean, go David Silva, whoever. It's been a while, right?
They feel mortal. They
feel mortal. They're back down to earth with us. Okay. And now when you look at it, Why wouldn't there be? Their goalkeeper is James Trafford. Their right back is Nunes. Their centre back is Stones.
Hey, let's be
and
nice,
Diaz
man.
and Nori.
Let's be nice. You're not wrong.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
but
to say
I'm just saying, like, bro, you think if I'm a Prem player and it's James Trafford? Nah, I'm sorry, bro. Like, nah, just because you sat on that, you're joined the big boys. You ain't a big dog, bro. Nunes, right back. Diaz, you ain't that guy no more. John Stones, Nori. When I'm looking at these guys, yeah. Nico Gonzalez the other day was playing Doku. Like, I like Doku, Bob. I like these guys. Bob, Doku talents, but it doesn't make me think like, untouchables anymore. It's not Sane and Sterling and KDB and David Silva and Fernandinho and Aguero. It's not that. It's not that. Do you get what I'm coming? I don't feel that. It's not Gundogan at his best next to Rodri with KDB and Haaland. Yeah, and Mahrez. It's not that for me. Do you know what I mean? So I just think they're mortal. Now, their mortalness is still a title challenge. It still is. However, I don't think it's as simple as Rodri. I think teams now think we can get something against City. I don't think Pep has ever had that in his whole career, bro. Has Pep ever had that in his career? Other than 16-17 season, maybe, where they actually started really well, but maybe the quality just wasn't enough. Has teams ever thought they got a chance against, obviously, unless you're like Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid or something, but has teams like, I'm talking about inferior teams, ever thought against a Pep team?
You know, the only time I
get
really...
something.
Well, you know,
Pep's
the
Barca,
only team I ever...
Pep's Bayern.
There was a period in Pep's career, even past 16-17, I did think this. And that was actually a year they won the league, but it was 2021 and
Okay.
COVID. Do you remember the way City, they were like ninth place out, like in
They had,
December,
like,
and yes, they
4
had games in hand, but don't forget they lost 5-2 to Leicester.
Yeah.
They were dropping points. They lost to Norwich.
I
they lost
agree.
to Manchester City before. But I think they looked a little vulnerable, and I think what Pep did a really good job of. That's really the beginning of when Pep started like taking this defense first approach. He brought in Ruben Diaz the day after. Diaz and Stones formed this amazing partnership in defense. They went on a crazy winning run, but a lot of it was built. Yeah, a lot of it was built, though, on just being solid. I think that was the first time I looked at City. And, in fact, the year before, I think Silva had left. Aguero was now, like, a bit part player. It did... I think most people were saying, all of a sudden now, can Pep rebuild this team again? And he did. I think to build off of that, right, I don't... Yeah, I hear a lot of what you're saying. I think the thing with the mortality side of things about them now, they feel like a little more beatable. I think it's because... a lot of these guys look like they could become those kinds of players in terms of legends and stuff like that. I look at Bob, I look at Cherokee, Reinders. They could go on to really define this league, but they're not there in their career yet, right? I feel like City now, they have a lot of parts of the puzzle that in a few years could be special, but right now are just a little too volatile. Like this game, they could be nice. This game, it's normal. But I think the biggest thing I took away from this game, and I think it's the biggest reason why I don't have City winning the league this season, and I told you this off camera, I think the Premier League always has trends. And I think the league for the last 12 months, and especially now, is trending towards transition football. How good you are at committing numbers and just hitting teams in transition. I think Pep even pointed it out himself last year that the teams to watch in this league are Brighton, Newcastle, Bournemouth, because of the way...
Did he mention Forest as well? I think he might have mentioned
Forest as well too. And he mentioned how they hit you in transition, the physicality that they have, where they win the ball up, and how they hit you on the counter and how they hit you in transition. I look at where the league is trending now as well too, and it's why I actually think if Man United, the next manager they get, there are some pieces to work with there. But I look at Spurs, the way that they beat them. Look, bro, keep an eye out for this, and you guys as well too. Watch this. I promise. The minute you guys see it, you'll never be able to unsee it. Every single team in this league now defends in a 4-4-2 mid block. Every single one of them. And it's because I think it's harder to build up in the style that everyone has over the last few years against that system,
Except
bro.
one team.
Oh, United.
We're
the only one. But we
don't do
got our
it.
own problem. Yeah, we're the only one, in fact.
We do
exactly.
5.
We defended a 5. But every successful team in this league, bro, honestly, the minute you see it, you will never unsee it. Spurs, Pap Sarr joins Richarlison up front, 4-4-2. Even City, the way they do it, who was it that joined him? Cherokee and Haaland up front at 4-4-2. Every team does it like that, and I think it's to stop them from building up. But the counter on that is, though, when you can win the ball up high, like Spurs showed, all of a sudden it's a 3v1, it's a 3v2, it's a 4v2. And I think City... First and foremost, the way they play, they never get transitions because they have so much of the ball and teams sit so deep against them. But also, they can't defend transitions, bro. They can't. I watched the Wolves game and I waxed lyrical about Reinders. I waxed lyrical about Cherokee, Bob. But Wolves had opportunities against them, bro.
Yeah.
If they timed their runs a little better, they could have had a few chances.
Yeah.
And I feel like with City, there's too many times like that a game that I see it with them, which is why I said with Arsenal and why I'm looking at them this season, not only are they starting to add a transition side to their game with Gyökeres and with Eze, but they defend transitions better than anyone else. And I think until City get a hold of that side of the game, defensively and offensively, I think this side's stuck at a. They're going to be in the top four. They're still a top team, and they're going to push those other sides. But I think until they kind of start limiting how many times teams can actually hurt them and creating more opportunities through that side of the game, I don't think they're winning the league this season, bro. On top of everything you said, I don't disagree with any of that. But I think a real failure to control transitions and make enough of them themselves is going to hold this team back this season.
Yeah.
For me, City are a team, they're a year away from being a year away. That's what I keep saying.
See, we'll see how it goes, man. But yeah,
But that's why I keep saying it too. The point about Rodri, I think he does mitigate a lot of that, bro. Because this guy at times can kill transitions on his own. Yes, he can get run past at times, but I think he does kind of put fires out before they even start. So let's see how he looks like when he comes back.
Yeah, I think a lot. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Even in the transition we were saying with Roger, I mean, there's going to be a lot to ask. You got to come back 100%.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I said 80%.
I know you're
yeah,
saying 80, but
You
is
say
that
100.
20% out of his running power? Because if it is, then I'm concerned, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. If you got a Declan Rice type engine or something or whatever, then cool. But yo, you got to come in and you got to put out a lot of fires now, man.
100%. Man United.
Man United. Where do we start, bro? Where do we start? I mean, I don't even know. You know what? One thing that I noticed, right, that I was thinking about is that forget about, as I said, your reactions out, my reactions out. Guys, go check it out if you want to know our broader views.
Yes, it's all out there.
But exactly. So, but you know what? I was looking at Mason Mount, right? And he ended up going into midfield at some point in that game. It was the two-man midfield, am I correct? It was the two-man midfield.
So what
at
happened?
one
Sesko
point.
came on for Casemiro.
Yes.
Mount dropped deep.
Yes.
Cunha went to the 10, and Sesko went up front.
Yeah, I actually think I would like to see Mason Mount in that role a little bit more. And whether that's in most likely, obviously, in Bruno's or not Bruno and Mason Mount. Because I think everything you need in an 8, not everything, maybe that's exaggeration, but what you need in an 8 in terms of the engine, in terms of getting across the pitch, getting around the pitch, somebody that doesn't mind getting into tackles, good in duels, can pass short, crisp, is very crisp, actually likes to go and get the ball and pass. And I think Mason Mount does that a lot better than Bruno Fernandes. And when I look at Bruno in the 8 and not in the 10, for me, Bruno has a systematic issue already anyway, right? And we're just trying to find a way to shoehorn him into
He's
the
the
football
elephant in
team.
the room, yeah.
And that is what Ruben Amorim's going to do. But I think just maybe a little tactical change in that of maybe start a game with Mount and Casemiro, let's just say, and Bruno in the 10 and see what he can do there. Or if I don't know, and see what you can do there. Because I'm just thinking to myself, like, what attributes does Bruno have to be this centre mid in a two-man midfield? And then I look at what attributes Mount has, and I'm like, Mount is actually more superior in that regard. I don't think it suits either of them to a high level, by the way.
Yeah.
Let me say that. Both will probably be in a 4-3-3 or a three-man midfield, let me just say. But I'm just thinking, you look at those two players there, and I'm just thinking, maybe one little swap, and all of a sudden, it changes something a little bit. It gives you a little bit more legs in midfield. You saw Mason. We see Mason Mount a lot chase back. We saw him chase Bukayo Saka.
He's industrious, bro. Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, we're talking about transitions, turnovers. You got someone there that's got a lot more legs and a bit more power in his running than a Bruno Fernandes. I would like to see that change. I wouldn't want to see anything like this. I want the manager to go and I want the formation to go. I want everything to go. But if we are going to stay with it, I would like to just see a little twinkle and see what we could do with Mason Mount, because Mason Mount can do all these things. He can link up well. He's brilliant on the half turn, but he hasn't got a creative bone. Mount can't create. He can't create chances. It's the reality. He didn't create much chances in open play at Chelsea. They used to bring all these stats, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, circumstance. But Mount just not a creator. Yeah. He can link up. He created Cunha's chance, but again, that was more in a link up fashion. It wasn't like a like a
No, I agree. Yeah,
creative
yeah, yeah.
chance.
He doesn't have a creative brain. It's
doesn't
not even, it's
really-
even the way he thinks. Like it's like he doesn't see. Like I always used to say, Ericsson has like the way he thinks the game. Right,
Yeah.
he sees pictures that other players don't.
Yeah.
Mount. That's not really him, which is so like it's bizarre to be honest. He's an attacking midfielder,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But he doesn't really think of like he doesn't see images like on that. Oh,
Yeah.
there's this guy kind. He doesn't
Yeah.
play like that, and even like sometimes I think his final pass, the weight is off a lot of the times.
But you know what's funny though? Some of Mount's best creative actions are from deeper.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. They're not from the 10 role. They're from deeper. So I'm like, I would like to see him be given a little run in that role.
I mean, look, bro. I feel like Bruno right now, man. Like no one can get him out of that position, bro. I mean, at least Mount got to play a little bit in the A. There's a dude who can't get 1 minute in 2 games at the
Bruh.
moment, bro.
Oh my god.
It's nuts. Yeah, I mean, look, Man United. There's not too much more I can really add on that. I feel like I'm Man United out right now. Like
Mate,
2
mate.
games in the season, I'm already sick and tired of it, bro.
Honestly.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I have nothing to add to that.
Mm.
Chelsea. Let's wrap this up with Chelsea.
Chelsea. Woo.
Can I say what really impressed me this weekend?
Yeah, go on.
Estevao. Or should I say, yo, hold on. You know,
Stevao.
Estevao.
Stavo.
Chelsea fans already call him Steve, bro.
Steve.
These guys, yo,
Dave
remember
and
we call it,
Steve.
we just call him Dave. Of Aspilicueta,
Yeah.
Steve. They have the best chance for him though. Did you hear it?
Nah, I ain't seen it yet.
Estevao, I like it.
Did they really sing that? Oh my gosh.
Estevao, I like it. I like it too, man. I can't lie. I'm vibing with that, bro.
That's
Yo, you
ridiculous.
know you guys, right? You Brits, man.
With
I got a lot of qualms with you guys, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, your food is absolutely diabolical. Since I've been in this country, I've learned a few things about British people. The food is some of the worst I've ever had. I mean, I see this guy every morning, bro. Jacket potato with tuna on it. I'm like, yo, you got, with baked beans as well too. Oh my, bro, you guys don't respect your taste buds.
Yeah.
But one thing about Brits, yeah, you guys can make chants in songs,
for
man.
sure,
oh
for sure.
my
For
goodness,
sure, for sure.
wow! I've never
For
seen
sure.
anything like it, bro. I've never seen anything like it. I grew up in the U.S., right? We got defense.
Oh my gosh. That is so bad.
Let's go, and then team name. But British fans, the way they can cook up a song out of anything. What's the one that Liverpool had for Chiesa? And they said
somebody was singing that the other day.
They said no to
Something
Juve.
F
Fuck off Juve.
Juve,
I'm a
yeah.
cop fight.
Yeah, something
And then the one about Diaz. That
yeah,
I'm so
yeah.
happy Diaz is gone now because the way I wanted to jam out to that song and I
Nah.
couldn't.
They can
They
sing
call
it in
him
Bayern
Lucho.
now. Yeah.
He's from Baracas.
Look at this guy.
And
Hey,
na,
Top
na,
Reds.
na,
Top
na,
Reds.
na.
Top
Bro,
Reds.
Yeah, sue me, man. I can't
Top
lie.
Reds.
That song is laced with crack, and I'm not even saying that because he's Colombian, bro. Yo,
Whoa.
bro, the songs that football fans in England come up with are incredible. I don't know how you guys do it, bro.
Hey.
I don't know like if someone's in a lab and then he just sends it
People
out to a
just
group
be-
chat.
They do. They have forums. They have Facebook
Right, yo,
forums.
ours, you're talking about what I just said about the ones that United fans used to make up used to be tapped.
Yeah, yeah,
Park
yeah.
Ji-sung was tapped.
Bro.
Lukaku was
The
tapped.
Lukaku was that were we the one that made the one about his penis?
Yeah,
or
he
something,
had to come out and say, "Yo, stop singing that, bro." But you remember Parks? Parks was even worse, bro.
I don't remember Parks. Oh, was that when they were lifting up that Chinese guy or something?
No,
remember?
no, you don't remember the part.
Nah.
I'm not gonna say it because
Yeah.
it's tapped. I'll tell you off camera, bro. And then Vidic as well too. He's like,
Yeah, no.
But yeah, yo, English football fans, they're different, man. But yeah, Estevao, right? I watched Estevao a lot during the Club World Cup. I watched him every single game. And the takeaway I had for Estevao was, this guy's not ready. I think he's amazing, talented, but this talk about Neymar, I don't think he's on Neymar's level. I think physically, the biggest thing I noticed about him is he's not really explosive.
Yeah.
He's quick. He's very
I
quick.
think he's explosive, but I don't think he's fast.
When I say explosive, you know Pedro Neto, he can get the ball and just kick it by you and run. Estevao, I don't think has that explosive running power. You know what I mean? I think he's very quick. He can run in a straight line.
His acceleration's good though.
Yeah, it is, but I just don't think he's like a powerful runner like that. And I think at times the way Palmeiras played him is like glued to the touchline. Hug the width, get it, and then take on your man. And I thought a lot of the time he would get that, and he would get stopped flat out, bro. He would. I think when he has like a combination to play, he can get out of situations. But in the Club World Cup, I thought a lot of the time, bro, you're getting like just flat out stopped 1v1. But what I did like from him in the Club World Cup, in times when he would drift inside, he has a very good strike on him. And facing goal, running at goal, I think he's quite good. This game, he came in for Cole Palmer quite late. And this is what I really like about Maresca. I thought, okay, maybe you bring in, you push Enzo further into the 10, you bring on another midfielder, something like that, Andre Santos. They brought in Esteval, and the way Maresca played it, he had on possession. They build up in a 3. Gusto was almost playing as a right winger, and Esteval was almost playing in that Cole Palmer position as like a right 10. So he wasn't hugging the touchline. He was receiving the ball, and every time he did, he turns. He's got space to run into, and he's running at goal from a central position. And Esteval, man,
He was
for
the
the
first
first time,
as well.
huh?
He was even
He
meant
wasn't.
to
He
start.
just came in. And to be fair to him, he had a real welcome to the Premier League moment because that goal that Paqueta scores, he receives the ball, he tries doing a flick in his own half. He loses it. Chelsea are at 6s and 7s. They score. He did it again in the second half. He lost it. And I'm like, okay, this is something. As you grow, you need to learn to pick your moments. Hazard, it was the same thing. Ronaldo. But I looked at Esteval, and I think he really grew from that moment on. And I looked at him for the first time, and I said, okay, I understand it now. Like, I get what all the hype is about. Bro, the guy was electric.
You know what I like about him?
Electric.
He's got his tenacity, bro.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
tenacious,
Yeah.
bro, and that surprised me because you're talking about physical and stuff, and you're probably thinking, okay, it's gonna take a while, especially because of the pipeline. You don't really get Brazilians come straight to the league
Yeah,
from Brazil, sorry, to the Premier League. But he runs hard, like he tries to defend.
yeah,
He puts his foot in. Do you know what I mean? And I respect that.
little,
His debut was Tyreek Mitchell, bro. That's a real Tyreek Mitchell's a real lockdown left back, and he was getting it in with him. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, wow, didn't win every battle. Let's not.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, that tenacity, I didn't see. You know, you were kind of associated. Obviously, those are the things that you don't get to see in comps.
Yeah.
You just get to see their skills and their ability. But it's a bit Willian in him, innit? Like, obviously, his last name's Willian as well, or something like that. But that's a bit of the Willian in him, like in terms of that tenacity.
Right.
Neymar never really had that, but you know, there is Brazilians that have that, and I think he's one of them, man.
You
That
see
has
his
got that
assist for
tenacious.
Enzo. Where
Beautiful,
he picks it up,
bro.
runs past one, and then the
What?
play continues. The lap holds it up. He continues his
Yes,
run.
bro.
And I think the most impressive part is how composed he was in that situation. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't just cross it aimlessly. He took his time, waited till the
Yeah.
perfect moment, and the pass was just perfect into
Yeah,
Enzo's pass.
yeah.
No, this was we won man of the match, right? And it was the first time I saw, okay, you deserve that man of the match. Bro, Club World Cup, I'm sorry. They were giving it to games. I was like, bro, you weren't even better than Richard Rios. There was a winger coming on for you every game. I was like, he was better than you. But
Yeah.
this game, and to be fair against Palace, he was quite good as well, too. I was like, okay, I understand the hype now.
Yeah.
But I think a big part of that has to do with Maresca, because Maresca identified that the closer you get this guy to goal and more centrally, the more effective he can be. And I think he's done that with a few players, man. Look at the Enzo transformation, if you want to say that. I still think Enzo has some parts of his game that he needs to work on. I think he misses some stuff, but who could have envisioned Enzo in his first year being now a box-crashing number 8 that grabs you 8 to 10 Premier League goals a season now?
Bro, I said it, bro. Kevin Nolan.
You said John Joe Shelby.
Yeah, no, that's a new one. He's Kevin Nolan now.
Are you ever gonna let this one go,
bro,
man?
No, bro, what you talking about? He is, bro. That is exactly how Kevin Nolan played, bro. Captain as well of Bolton. He's captain of Chelsea.
Why can't he be Lampard? Why can't he?
Bro,
why does he have to be?
nah, he's got to
why
get
does
to
it have be-
20s. He's got to get to 20s for Lampard. Right now, he's in the Kevin Nolan. You know, Kevin Nolan was like reborn lamps. You know what I mean? Like,
Reborn, and he older than Lamps.
probably, but you know,
I said reborn Lamps.
but you know how it goes. So he's in the kind of like Kevin
But
Nolan
I
role
give
right
him
now.
credit for kind of changing Enzo's role into that. I think he's done that for a few players, to be honest with you. Maresca, man, like he's impressing me more and more every single game, and I think Chelsea are going to be a player in this Premier League challenge. I don't think they're going to win it, but I think a big part of it is due to how versatile this guy is as a manager, and I think it says a lot as well too. I know West Ham are an absolute shambles, but to lose Cole Palmer in training 10 minutes before the game and still be able to find a solution and win a game that comfortably, I think he's a terrific coach, man. Seriously. Now, I want to call you out on your. So last week we did some hot takes, right?
Oh my god, I was
And
laughing about. I wanted to talk
and
about
one of
that.
Cam's hot takes was, what would you say?
They won't get
5
3
weeks,
points.
6 weeks in or whatever.
They all
No,
won.
he said no one will have I think Wolves, West Ham, Burnley, and
Yeah.
Leeds will not get more than 3 points after 5 games.
Yeah.
Bro, half those teams won
They
now,
all
bro.
won, bro. What the fuck? They all won, bro. I couldn't believe it.
Brentford was
bro.
another one of them.
Yeah,
Brentford beat
bro, they
Villa.
all won, bro. I was like, well, fair enough. That was a cold take.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
done. That take is finished
Can we
already.
get a new hot take then? Can we get an
I
update?
don't know if I have another one in me, you know. That Max Dowman England call up ain't looking too bad, eh?
I think that could be a potential.
That could be, that could be
I'm looking at
potential,
that
innit?
kid, I'm like, fuck.
That guy is a problem. I think that's something that was big this weekend.
How do you manage that with Dowman, right? Because first week he looks, he's looked electric every time he steps on the pitch. But you have like Jamie Redknapp saying this guy will be one of the
best
greatest
English-
English players of all. That's big
massive.
words, bro.
Yeah.
Almost to the point that I'm like, I actually think did you have to say that? Like that's a
Yeah.
lot to throw at him.
You know, Redknapp's got to make up for when Souness and Gary Neville were trying to say Messi's the best ever, and he's like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
but he's not though. He's got to win the World Cup, doesn't he? Doesn't he, Gary? He's got to make up for it with a big shout, innit? Dowman's is one now,
Gary
innit?
Neville's like a Messi, 21. I think he might be the best player I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Like,
he's got to make up for it now. man.
I heard him say, I was like, I wish you had kind of just, let's lay off him a little bit, honestly. I think the last thing we want is every game that we look at him, and in this new social media era, bro, if Dauman doesn't tie his shoes right next game, they're going to be making fail comps of him.
You know what? I think exactly how Arteta used him is how he should use him for a lot of the
He
season.
gave him 35 minutes.
Yeah, while winning heavily. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So if
Nwaneri,
Arsenal...
we saw him once for 5 minutes. We never saw him again.
Bro,
for
yeah, exactly. But I think how he's being used now is how you should use Dauman, because Dauman is special, innit? Like, he's just different. He's different level.
Yeah.
So I think when you look at it, still 15 years old, so it has to be grounded, and in terms of minutes, and we don't want to get to 19 years old and that famous graph that we always bring out, most minutes from a 19 by 19 he's played 30,000 more minutes than Michael Owen and some rubbish like that. You don't want to have that. So I think with the minutes that he's going to do this season, I think if Arteta does what he did today, 2-0 up, okay, 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline, but 2-0...
Was it 2-0?
No, I'm just saying,
yeah.
if they're going forward. 2-0 up, it's 75 minutes in. He's special enough that I don't think he's going to subside your team and make you guys now concede 3 goals. Stuff like that, I think, is good. Wins like this, maybe the Carabao Cup. So I think if he uses him in that way, but, and I said it on FCM, could there be a moment this season that he has a Rio moment, for example? Let's not forget, Rio 16. Could there be a moment this season that it's so funny, because I literally built this exact scenario and Rio just did it this weekend. I was like, could there be a moment this season that Arsenal are drawing 1-1, and instead of going to Christian Norgard or Madueke, he says, Max,
That would be incredible.
you come on.
That would really be incredible.
And Max can get a winner or something.
Because Rio was really
That is-
a fine, like what, it was a 90-something minute final throw of the dice. It's
Yeah.
like, let's just throw everything at it, right?
Yeah.
If there was a game, 20 minutes left, Arsenal 1-1, and Arteta brought on Dauman,
Yeah.
that would really be like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're bringing on a 15-year-old because you
Yeah.
have that much belief in him.
Yeah.
That would be wow.
That's what I wanna
think
see
he
this
will
season.
definitely, like I saw yesterday, he became Rio the 4th youngest goal scorer in Premier League history. I'm pretty confident that Dauman will break that record. Like Dauman will be. I think the youngest is James Vaughan, right, for Everton.
Is it
right?
still him?
I think it's Vaughan is
Yeah,
still the youngest by like days, right?
Yeah.
I think Dauman will score in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he will.
That'll be, I mean, listen, as I said, if they can just continue using him this fashion, great. Because what he did, it just bring more excitement. Arsenal fans, when he came onto the pitch, it will just give him the ball, let him. He
I
took
was
4
talking
shots.
to a lot of Arsenal fans. They were actually saying not Dauman, yes, but they're saying Odegaard came off the pitch. He's like, I had so much fun watching Arsenal.
Yeah.
My boys from here, I had so much fun watching Arsenal in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like-
I mean, listen, you were up. It was vibe. It was 4-1 up. It was good vibes. You know what I'm trying to say? Diamond's on. Life's good. Eze came out before. Life was amazing. Amazing.
You know what that was?
know
That was
I
at their Leeds game for United. Or no, it was at their Newcastle game. Sorry.
Oh, with Ronaldo. For
Nah, it's
real,
really
for real.
Leeds. Leeds was like, all right, that was a movie for us.
But before we go, talking about like young talents in general, obviously one former unreal young talent was Callum Hudson-Odoi, right? I'm looking at Callum and I'm thinking, you know, and I've said it to you before. I think it was you actually. There always comes a time where a youth talent who was so crazy, and yeah, they may be called failed wonder kids or whatever, but they give you 1 or 2 seasons where you're like, oh, that's why you were so rated. That's why you were so... Justin Kluivert gave us that last year. Like, you know what I mean? A little bit like...
Who else can we think of that was like that?
There's probably there's loads.
You know, in basketball, that was Michael Beasley, bro. I swear Michael Beasley came back in the league for a few years. And, like, he started... I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, bro,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
give you...
That's why you were number 2 pick in the league.
Yeah. They give you a little moment where you're like, oh, okay, I think that could be Cho this season, you know. I think...
Like Ross Barkley for Luton a few seasons back.
Bro,
Yeah.
they give you just something where you're like, okay, I see it. You know what I mean? I see why you were that guy at once upon a time. So I think when you look at Callum Hudson-Odoi, he's going to give us, I think, a season. I'm not saying it's going to be some Player of the Year season or something, but just a reminder now that why he was such a highly rated young player. Listen, he's shown flashes last season with Forest, but I think this season now with Alanga gone, it can maybe be more of a 2-man step with Gibbs White. I'm looking at him this season. I'm thinking, listen, there's a big hole in that England team on the left-hand side. England don't have a left winger right now. Can he make a late push? He's familiar with Tuchel was going to call him up in his first call-up, but then he said that he just needs a little bit more.
Oh, he said that about
Yeah,
Ghana?
he was going to call him up. So I think if he can continue playing, when you're looking at him in this kind of wide playmaker kind of role, I think his passing is unbelievably
So good,
underrated.
yeah, so good.
So underrated. He's got the IQ. Maybe he's not as rapid as he once was, but he's still got the burst to go past people. And like you were saying about Esteval, maybe hasn't got. Cho has got power running. You know what I'm trying to say?
He
So
has
I'm
his
looking
confidence
at.
back too. I
He
was
has
seeing
his
some of the
confidence
stuff that
back.
he was
Yeah,
doing. Like,
bro.
I was like, oh yeah, you're finally, because you know when you get that kind of injury, right? I feel like people massively underrate the mental
Yeah,
side
it
of
takes
things
a while.
about how it takes to like even become comfortable again going at people. And I think as well too, you get not released, but Chelsea, it doesn't work out there. He went to Leverkusen, it doesn't work out there. All of a sudden, bro, you were the hottest thing on the block. And now you probably start self-doubting yourself, man. And now it looks like last season as well too, but it looks like he's finally kind of back in a place where he's fully happy playing football again. And he fully believes that, I am that guy, bro. There's a
Yeah.
reason why I was that guy 4 or 5 years ago.
100%, and I'm looking forward to seeing that happen, man. Like that's one of my favorite things, seeing those young players that maybe were written off, but they were high talents. Just for a season or two, give us a reminder of what they were. I mean, we can talk about Ben Arfa at
Nice, yeah.
at Nice. Sorry, I was gonna say Lille. At Nice, that was a reminder. Like, okay, you always show flashes, but one season you just put it together.
yeah.
You just gave us one season and put it together, and that's the type of stuff that I like to see, man. And I hope Callum Hudson-Odoi is one of them ones, man. So let's see how it goes with him.
Callum Hudson-Odoi for England, man. They
Hey.
got options, bro. They need someone on the left anyways, bro. That's the
There
one
we
position
go.
I'm looking at.
Telling you.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let me know what you guys think about all of that stuff. We hit a few niche topics for you guys. Yeah. We'll see you guys very, very soon. Like, share, subscribe. Check out Cam's stuff. Check out my stuff. I'll put it in the description below. Check out BR. Thank you for always posting our stuff on all your platforms. This podcast is, of course, powered by them. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.